All right, welcome to episode 3. Right? It is
Yeah,
3.
episode 3.
Awesome! Can't believe we made it this far
3 in, yeah.
without Madison.
Without Madison. Yeah, Madison's having surgery or had surgery. He's recovering from that, so he'll be back with us soon. But
Probably the next episode.
yeah. But we got a special episode planned. We got something cool. I think this will be pretty cool.
I'm kind of excited for it, kind of not.
Yeah, so basically we're just gonna be ranking the top 60 games on Metacritic of all time. These are, I guess, would be the average general consensus of what is the best games of all time. And what way to be more divisive than to rank them in.
You're right. So we have S tier. That's going to be for top of the line. No questions about it. A tier is just subjectively and objectively a good game. Then you kind of know, go down the line. B, C. Then we have mid tier instead of D because, well, I don't know why. Our generation, mid.
One thing I do want to say, so do we want to keep these rankings, I guess, like comparing only these games? Like, say, I'm just going to throw out a random game that I see here. Let's say San Andreas is like an A tier game overall, in our opinion.
Yeah.
But
Compared to the others.
compared to all the others on this list, it's like a C or kind of mid compared to the rest of them. Do we want to do like... Because I feel like if we just do in general, then most of this list is going to be an S and A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
we should probably rank it
We're going to have to
within
look at
these
it
games.
way more strict than...
Because we also don't see like what number ranking these are. Because like I'm pretty sure Ocarina of Time is number 1, right?
Probably. That makes sense.
I'm pretty sure that's like always been like number 1 on Metacritic. But we don't like see the number association with these, so we're kind of just like putting our own number on it almost, just by
Yeah.
ranking them in order.
The only other thing I'm scared about is that I'm scared that there's going to be like a lot of games I haven't played, even though I should have played
Yeah,
them.
I feel like we're gonna have played at least 80% of these.
Okay.
If not like both of us, then at least one of us
All right.
can just kind of like do it. Okay, so what do we do if just another thing before we get on this. What do we do if, let's say we get to a game, I think it's an absolute masterpiece, you don't. Do we want to just average the two rankings? Like if I think it's S, you think it's B, then we just meet at the middle of the day?
Let's do average. Yeah.
Okay, alright, I'm fine with
All
that.
right. Okay. You ready to
Alright,
get started?
Yeah, let's
Alright.
get started.
What's first?
Okay, let's start at the bottom and
Okay.
just go up. Actually, no, let's not do that. Okay. Halo 2.
Halo 2. All right.
So before we start talking about Halo 2, I feel like one thing that's going to be common on here is games that were like very ahead of their time and may not have aged that well. Now, I'm not saying that applies to Halo 2. I'm just saying I think that's going to be a common thing of if a game came out and it was like very technically ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Even if it was like a great game too, I think it's going to have an extremely high score that may look a little odd. I also know, because I'm pretty sure, just without looking on this list, I don't even see it on here. I'm pretty sure stuff like Soul Calibur is like on this list, which is, it would look a little odd to like rank beside something like Skyrim.
I'd put it up there.
Yeah,
If it was
yeah.
Soul Calibur
I guess
2,
I guess to put so should we put it into the perspective of like what genre it is? Like if Soul Calibur's on here, do we go okay? Like as far as a fighting game, like
yeah.
where does this stand?
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Okay,
And then we can
okay.
go, if it's in the same ranking as something else, you can go left being the more better and right being the less
Okay,
better.
yeah, but we'll do it like if we're say like Soul Calibur and Skyrim are in the same row, like we're gonna rank Soul Calibur based on like it being a fighting game,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
directly against something like
Yeah,
Skyrim. Okay, so Halo 2.
Oh man,
You probably have more experience with this than me. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've hardly ever played Halo 2 that much.
Really, this is.
I didn't grow up playing it, so.
Oh, this is already hard, dude. I'm looking at the whole list. I'm like, oh man, Halo 2, man. There's a lot of great moments in it. I think that's when they first introduced online multiplayer.
Yeah. I think we have to give that like
It's either an A or
super
B.
high props solely because I mean think about how big like to this day online first person shooters
Yeah.
are. That has to be pretty.
I give it a high B.
And we can move stuff around later.
Let's do B.
Yeah,
let's do B
just,
right now.
Okay, well, let's not go in order. Let's just pick a game that you want to
Okay.
talk about first.
All right.
Let's just do that. I can think of an easy one. We can just go ahead and get out the way. Let's be honest. Resident Evil 4.
I'm not gonna give it. Don't give it an S.
What?
It's an A. I give it an
No.
A. I give it an A.
No, there's
bro.
no way.
I give it an A. It's not S tier, in my opinion. I feel like S tier is for the legends.
Yeah. Okay, tell me what doesn't make Resident Evil 4 an S tier game.
What doesn't make it an S tier game?
I think it's
Hold on.
groundbreaking.
I'm thinking.
What's the word? Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking. I think it's groundbreaking.
But I don't know. Nowadays, it hasn't aged super well.
And see, that's the weird thing is that
Didn't you say you went back and tried to play it?
I just recently, I think I actually said this on the first or second episode that I haven't played the 4 remake. I've played the 4 remake now. I've played it 3 times in because I'm trying to get all the achievements. Silence. I still think I like the original 4 better.
Really?
Yeah, I think I can have played through the remake 3 times. After playing through the remake 3 times, I think I can solemnly say that I like the original 4 better still. Even even control wise, like just the way it plays. I can get into that later as far as like what I like about the original over the remakes. There's a few things I really like the remake. I think it's really good. But dude, 4 is such.
I still just think I think it's still technically tank controls. Obviously, that's not really the style of games anymore.
Yeah.
And if I'm comparing it to the remake, while the remake did miss out on some things like cutting out pieces of the game, I thought all around that one was perfect. And as it's gonna sound like I'm gonna sound like a heretic, but I think I'd rather play the remake than the original
I feel
Resident
like
Evil 4.
a lot of people, most people I've talked to say they'd rather play the remake. I'd much rather play 4, the original.
All right, you know what?
This is gonna be hard.
Here's what I'll tell you. If that said Wii on top instead of PlayStation 2,
The Wii version.
I'd say yes. I'd say yeah, bro.
Okay, well, hold on. I don't think so. That's another thing. I don't think this is really console specific. I'm not sure if they have like a separate ranking for like the GameCube version because I'm pretty sure and plus this tier list may have the wrong cover art because I'm pretty sure the GameCube version is what's listed if you actually go to the website. But I think I would ignore platform as long as it's the same version of the game, which I'd say it is. Like just Resident Evil 4 as a game. Obviously, like Wind Waker, we're not going to count it as Wind Waker HD. But
yeah, okay.
I mean, 4 Wii is pretty. Much
are we
the same
talking
game.
about? We're talking about then the most advanced form of the game. I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, like I think Grand Theft Auto 5, I would judge it based on like the PS4 version. Actually, they have them separate here, oddly enough. So,
bro, okay.
I'd say for 4, we can include the Wii version if you really like the Wii version.
Okay, if it's the Wii version, I'll give it an S.
All right, thank you.
Low S.
That's gonna hurt my heart if
Low S.
4 doesn't have 4 isn't an S.
All right, so you picked that one.
I think you'll realize how S tier it is once we go through the rest of these.
All right, so you picked that one.
Yeah, so you picked.
Let me look. If I'm comparing it to the classics, I kind of want to give Elden Ring a B.
Okay, here it is.
There's 2 Elden Rings, by the way.
Oh yeah, there's. I'm guessing it's the PC version and.
Which this might move up later.
I'll just put 1 here for now.
It's just because I know we have to fill in all of them.
Yeah.
And I can't give everything S as much as I want to.
Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna go straight for controversy, man. Odyssey does not need to be in the top 50.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I've never played Odyssey.
Really?
No.
Okay, well. I've played Odyssey. I've played all the 3D Marios. I love 3D Marios. I'm pretty sure I've played every Mario in mainline entry in general.
Mm-hmm.
Sunshine used to be my least favorite, which was also kind of like a hot take, I feel like.
I don't get why that's such a hot take either. That game was so fun.
No, I'm saying it was my least favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, Sunshine's always been my least favorite. I never fully played through it. I would always like play partially through it and then stop like so many times, like throughout being a kid and everything.
Did your mind change after you went and 100%ed it?
Yeah, well, I haven't 100% it yet. Well, I got all the shine sprites, but I'm still getting some of like the other achievements and stuff. But yeah, I like it a lot more. I have a better opinion on it. It's still, for the most part, my least favorite, except for now I think it's better than Odyssey.
Okay.
I think, and Odyssey's a great game. I love Odyssey. I would replay it again.
So what
But
rank
it's
are you giving it?
definitely my least favorite 3D Mario.
Okay.
I don't think it really did anything innovative that much. I think it has great controls. I think if there's one thing we can give it props on, it's having great controls. But I didn't like the shift from like traditional star objectives to the moons. It felt like something that would be like a side collectible in a 3D platformer was now made like the main and only objective of the game. So instead of, like Galaxy I loved, which I'll get into that one in a second. I really love Galaxy the way it was laid out because it almost felt like every single star was just like its own world almost. Because there'd be a different galaxy with like 2 or 3 stars associated with it, and there'd just be a ton of them.
No, I get it.
Odyssey just felt like ground pound on that, spot on the ground there, and a moon comes out. Do you know much about the game?
Odyssey, not really. Except
So-
there's a hat.
Instead of stars, there's moons. There's like 900 of them in total. There's an insane amount. It's a little bit kind of like sort of open worldish. So like there's different like parts of the world. You go to it and then you can kind of just like explore it. But there's just moons placed randomly everywhere. So one may be hidden in this random enemy. One's like hidden in the ground. Some of them are hidden behind puzzles in the overworld. So it's kind of cool, but I don't know. I didn't like that change over how it traditionally is.
Really? So even
as
though
far
they
as
tried
ranking
changing
it-
the formula, you weren't really into it?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's still a great game. I just don't think it stands up with a top 50 game of all time. I think that's such a stretch to put it in this list. So I'm just gonna put it in mid for now. Again, not a mid game, just comparative
everything else on here.
Comparative to what I would imagine a top 50 to be. Mario Odyssey's mid on that list. So
All right, you ready for mine?
yeah,
Already
let's go.
easy. I want to put Twilight Princess in A.
Twilight Princess in A. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
I feel like for this game, I think it's very widely known that Twilight Princess. I read an article where originally they didn't even initially want to make Twilight Princess, but they wanted to follow the same formula as Ocarina of Time because it was such a success on the N64. And so they were trying to bring that success originally for GameCube, but it kind of ended up being almost a flagship title for the Wii. I think it was. I mean, technically it was.
It was the launch title. Yeah,
even though it was a
flagship for the Wii.
GameCube game as well.
Well, it actually came out on the GameCube afterwards, a few weeks later.
I did not
Oddly
know
enough.
that. That's
Yeah.
so backwards.
Yeah, and so they made it for the GameCube, threw it onto the Wii to be a launch title. So they obviously want people to kind of buy the Wii, because of it.
Yeah.
And I actually think that Twilight Princess ended up getting delayed a few weeks on GameCube from its Wii release.
And we talked about this in a previous episode, but man, like, I think nostalgia plays a factor in this, and I'm going to let it play a factor. I don't
Yeah.
think that you should cut nostalgia out. Like I said, just waking up early, buying the Wii, like when I went with my dad and all my family, like 5 a.m., pitch black outside. We got home. My dad started playing Twilight Princess. Oh my gosh, dude, I just fell in love. And I could play that game over and over and over again.
Yeah, nostalgia actually doesn't have too big of a factor for this game for me. I played it as a kid, but I never beat it as a kid. I got past the water temple, and then my save corrupted, and I was so pissed. I actually had it from GameFly, of all things. I think we talked about that on another episode, that
Yeah.
I had like GameFly back in the day. Yeah, my save file corrupted. I was playing the GameCube version. Save file corrupted right when I got past the water temple, and I was just so mad that I just literally returned the game the next day.
Really?
Yeah, and so I didn't play it until like years later, all the way through. But I think it's easily a top tier Zelda. I think it's a very like it plays it kind of safe, but I think people don't give it enough credit as far as like they kind of word it as almost like, oh, they just kind of made what the people wanted. But I think there's a lot more special to Twilight Princess that goes unnoticed. I easily think it's A, if not S. I'd look into later once we kind of rank more stuff, seeing if it deserves to be S. But
That's fair.
I think for now A is a good spot.
I also think that they didn't try to do as many niche things with the Wii Remote, which was a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they made it super, super Wii Remote heavy, it would have been different. And not saying Skyward Sword's a bad game, it's just that one relied heavily on motion controls, and I wasn't as big of a fan.
And I don't even think it relying on motion controls was the bad part. I think it was just motion controls that didn't work really that well.
Yeah.
Especially for a lot of people.
I feel like Twilight Princess did it right. with what they
Yeah,
did.
well, I didn't play the Wii version that much. I played it a little bit.
Oh, you played the GameCube version?
So I played the GameCube version. So I had the Wii version first as a kid. I didn't play it that much. I think I had it through GameFly.
Mm-hmm.
No. It was opposite. I had the GameCube version first. I played halfway through it, sent it back. I ended up getting the Wii version a few years later as like a Nintendo Selects, because it was pretty cheap. But I never really played it that much. I got like 1 or 2 temples in. Then I went and played the HD version on the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played it on emulator. So yeah, most of my experiences with the GameCube and the regular controller version. So I don't have too much like remembrance of
Yeah,
the Wiimote
that makes
version,
sense.
but I do think it was kind of just like shoehorned in there a little bit. But I don't think it was intrusive. I don't think any version of the game is bad. So,
Okay.
or that much worse than the other one. Yeah. Okay. So
What you gonna pick?
I want to save some of the heavy hitters for a little bit later. Well, we've never played Persona 5, so
Unfortunately, not yet.
not played.
Are we gonna count that as your turn?
Yeah, I'm just deciding what I want to tackle next.
Oh, okay.
Let's go for this BioShock. I think
Okay,
BioShock
okay.
is a
Is that the first one?
yeah. I think BioShock's A tier, maybe B, A, B, A, B, A, B. I would say B. I don't think it's above an entire tier above Elden Ring. What do you think? Have you ever played BioShock?
I can agree with that. Yeah, I played all of them.
Okay.
I think I can agree with that. Again, comparatively, I think B's a fine place.
Yeah, I feel like it's a great game. I feel like everybody should play it. I don't think it has that much replayability factor modern day. Like I've
Unless
never really
you go
had...
like a long period of time without playing it, and then
Yeah.
go back.
Well, I mean, even I haven't played it in probably like 10 years, and I just don't really have like an urge. Like I kind of forget that it exists until I look at a list like this, and I'm like, oh yeah, that game's great. I think B's a pretty average place to put
I'd
it.
actually say that I had more fun playing Bioshock 2 than the first one.
Really?
I like playing as the Big Daddy.
I
think that was pretty cool.
definitely think they progressively got worse.
What?
Not like that any of them are bad, but I
Really?
don't think I think Infinite's worse than 2, and I think 2's worse than 1.
You didn't like Infinite either?
I didn't really like Infinite that much. I think it was a good game. It was an okay game, but I wasn't the biggest fan of
That's kind of crazy, dude. I don't know. I disagree.
Hey.
but I did.
This list seems to agree though, because I don't see BioShock 2 on here.
Dago.
So
You're right. All right,
watch it be on here.
Let me see. Oh man, this one's gonna be bad. And I think you're gonna agree with me too. Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I thought about doing that last. My last choice. I don't know why there's 3 versions. We're just gonna.
Okay,
do
well
one.
we have the first one and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay, so this
And-
is the first one. This is the second one.
So
there's
okay,
2 versions of
here's
the
what
second
I will say. Oh man, I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna take a little bit of an objective take here.
Okay, go ahead.
I do think it's a very standout game.
It is.
I think it deserves to be
It
in
is.
this top. Even if I don't personally care for it, I think it deserves to be in this list.
Yeah, but do I want to play it? I do not.
I don't want to play it either. I don't know. I could see myself going back to it maybe and trying it again. Yeah, I feel like I almost should rate it not played, just because like I mean I've played it before,
I
but
played it before too.
only for like maybe like 6-7 hours.
I think
like-
that's enough to form an opinion, though. And I feel like my opinion is it's a big time sink. Again, objectively, very good game. However, This sounds so ironic considering all the JRPGs I play, but I just don't have the time to put into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a knock, because I mean, Elden Ring's also a time sink, so you can't put Elden Ring here and then
I don't know.
knock
It just
this one
it's
for
it's
being a time
crazy
sink.
that objectively, again, it's a good game, but then I kind of want if we're gonna not put it and don't want to play, I guess the only other spot would be C tier.
So should we just put it and don't want to play? Because I mean,
That's where
realistically,
I would put
we
it.
don't want to play it. Like I would
Yeah.
play Mario Odyssey.
I'm
again,
not interested.
and I don't think it should be in this list. I think Red Dead 2 should be in this list, but I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll put it there.
If
for now.
Madison were here, he would fight this.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah,
would fight
no,
this hard.
100%.
All
All
right.
right, me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be. This is one I can't make a decision on. Maybe you can. I don't even know if you played this before. GoldenEye, the 64.
I have never played GoldenEye before.
Never played GoldenEye. Okay. GoldenEye is a great game, masked under technology of 1998. I mean, I genuinely think that, I think it's super innovative game, groundbreaking. Just past that part, I think it's a good game in general.
Okay.
Like, it's really fun to play.
Mhm.
It's very popular to this day. It's very big in speedrunning. It's probably a top 5, top 10, like most speedrunning game.
Yeah.
It did a lot of things right. I also think it's borderline unplayable.
Really?
I'm not even exaggerating. I think it's unplayable. Going back to the 64 version today, I think it's borderline unplayable. The frame rate is like, and I hate to be like, I'm not a pickler. I swear I'm not a pickler for like frame rate or anything like that. But this
pickler?
game specifically, is that a word? Pickler?
I don't think so.
Stickler? What is the word?
Stickler.
Stickler.
A pickler is
Okay.
somebody who pickles
Stickler.
things.
Okay, okay, stickler. I'm not a stickler usually for like stuff like that. I actually didn't care about Breath of the Wild having like frame rate problems, anything like that. I don't really care that much. But this game specifically runs at like 15 FPS almost solidly. The resolution is so low that like you can barely see like enemies in the distance. So you're basically just kind of seeing shots fired. And then the controls. The controls are just absolute like they're absolutely
Are
horrible.
those
Have you ever
those
played
tank
Time
controls?
Splitters?
I've played Time Splitters. Yeah.
So it's like, think about the baby version of Time Splitters as far as controls. This is the game that basically almost, if not invented, the Time Splitters type of controls, where you
Okay.
like press the button and to like where you stop
Oh
and then you
my
look around and
gosh,
aim.
yes,
but
I
then when you're
remember
not
that.
pressing the button, then you're looking around.
Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No, that sucks.
But okay, I can't say it's unplayable though, because people still like speedrun the crap out of it to this day. I don't know, man. I would not go back and play it and have well, I don't know.
How would you compare it to other games of its era, or maybe not era, but like a similar play style like Doom or Quake?
Yeah, see, I can go back to Doom though. Like I think Doom. I'm surprised Doom isn't in this list. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Doom should definitely be in this list, especially over Mario Odyssey, bro. Like we should have the original Doom 1000% over Mario Odyssey. But I think Doom is super like still playable to this
Okay,
day.
that's fair.
And I would choose to play Doom almost any day over GoldenEye.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. I'll put it in C tier, I guess.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's fair.
I think it deserves to be in this more than Mario Odyssey. So, I do think it's just a little rough to play, and I don't even think that's its own fault. I think it's just a thing of its time.
Okay. I'm gonna
One
go.
thing I will say, this is a Portal collection of Portal 1 and Portal 2. I don't know if the actual Metacritic ranking has both Portal 1 and Portal 2
Or if
in
it's
the
just-
top 50, or if it's just one of them. So let's just say it's Portal 2. Because I feel, well, which one do you like better? I feel like Portal 2 is the more like expansive one, but
It is.
I'd be surprised.
Portal 1's more of the classic.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Well,
I
I
feel like
think-
Portal 1 would be on the list.
Despite not being super interested in it, I have played both of them. I think Portal deserves respect. I just think it's a respectable game.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing as GoldenEye. Like, it's... Well,
I definitely above GoldenEye. Can you scroll up the list again?
above GoldenEye?
I think it's above GoldenEye.
I think both of those games have two things in common, is that they're remembered a lot for being very innovative. But GoldenEye was definitely way more innovative.
You think so? You
Yeah,
want to put it below
100%.
GoldenEye?
I mean, I think GoldenEye was the first like multiplayer first person shooter because it had split screen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I do think it's one of the first like console ones at least. Like I don't know if like Quake
Okay,
would
okay.
have been out by that time. And
I'm fine putting it behind 007 then.
I mean, I think it should be in the same like tier list personally. I don't know if it should be ahead or behind.
Oh, you think it's equal?
But I don't think it's like a whole step above.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Personally.
fine. I'm fine. with that.
Um,
Let's go ahead.
great games though.
Let's thin out the herd. Go ahead and put NFL into don't want to play.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna
I'm like,
debate that.
bro,
I'm not gonna debate that.
I'm really not a
Um,
sports game guy. If you couldn't
Yeah,
tell.
let me see if there's anything else that I don't know what this is.
Disco Elysium.
Yeah, what is
Elysium.
that?
I've heard of it. I have no idea what it's about.
Is that
So
a top 50 game of all time?
you can put it not played.
Yeah, I don't.
I see it on Steam all the time for sale. I think it's an older game.
I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is what's in the top 50 and not Baldur's Gate 2. Have you played Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, you played Baldur's Gate 3.
But I mean, it's
I know
possible.
I know Baldur's Gate 3 is in the top 50.
It's possible that Baldur's Gate 2 is top 50 as well. While I look this up,
Yeah, let me go ahead and knock something else out real quick. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, you ever played Tony Hawk's
No.
Pro Skater 3? Okay, so I'll just talk about that one. Super Classic. Don't know if it deserves to be in the top 50. I'll put it in the C tier.
nah,
What? Should be higher?
mid.
Mid? No. It's not mid.
Mid.
Nah. Okay,
Mid.
it's but the genre thing though. Like for the type of game that is, like it's really fun.
Mid. I'm just playing. I can't really form an opinion on it. I just don't care for those types of games.
Yeah.
So it's
But
just
as
like
someone who does care for those type of games, like kind of like arcade. I don't even know what genre is that like even considered.
sports.
Nah, it's not sports.
I won't
Like,
lie to
it's
you.
like an arcade type of, more like arcade-ish. Like you ever played like Crazy Taxi? That's not a racing game. It's like an arcade like points type game.
Well,
And
just-
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is more so like that. It's not like in the same category as like NFL 2K.
not gonna lie, to solidify my opinion of those types of games, if Jet Set Radio were on there, I'd say mid as well.
No,
I would,
I
bro.
was actually just about to say the opposite. That I wish Jet Set Radio was on.
But
this
that
list
shows
instead
where
of Tony Hawk's Pro
shows
Skater.
where that shows where our opinions are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think Jet Set Radio would easily be bigger above. That's one of my favorite games. Have you ever played Baldur's Gate 2?
I have not. I know.
I haven't either.
This
So do you want to
game.
just rank it as Baldur's Gate 3? Because I know we both played that. Well, actually, I've never really. too much played
Nah.
it.
Put it in not played because I don't.
Okay,
It's not a
okay.
fair comparison. Larian did it in the kind of the way they did their Divinity games, and I forget what studio did Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, but they're like, it's very very different. It's like distinctly different. So I don't think it's
Okay.
fair like
Um,
that.
Perfect Dark is the same situation as GoldenEye. I do think it's a better game though, personally. I don't know if that's a popular opinion, but I think it's basically a better GoldenEye, personally.
Okay. You want to put it in you want to put low B or high C? I can't make an opinion because I don't think I've played Perfect Dark. No, I definitely haven't played Perfect Dark.
I'll put it in high C.
All right, my turn. Let's go ahead. Wow, there's a lot of the same games.
Yeah, I don't know why there's duplicates.
Okay, this will be easy. Ocarina of Time. You can put that S. Easy.
So, is it a whole tier above Twilight Princess? I personally think
yes.
so. I personally think so.
Even though Twilight Princess is like the more updated version, like a spiritual successor. I wouldn't even say successor, like a spiritual copy.
I think it's a spiritual. Well, yeah.
Well, okay, no, you're right.
spiritual
You're right.
successor,
No,
but-
successor is correct. That's the correct word because it's not saying it's a sequel or anything. It's just
Yeah. I think it's
So
I think they tried to mimic a lot of what Ocarina of Time did with Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
To kind of cover off the backlash of Wind Waker at
Yeah.
the time, which is crazy to think about because Wind Waker should not have any backlash.
yeah,
But I do think a lot of what Zelda, I think a lot of what Twilight Princess does right that we love it for is pretty directly inherited from Ocarina of Time that already did it
It
right.
set a precedent for every other Zelda game, and it gave us a lot of iconic things that we see and love today.
Yeah.
So
But not even being the precedent and like the building blocks for it, it was also really good. Like
Yeah.
it was like at the top level of like what it could be from the get-go.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, we got to respect it because it kind of paved the way for the games to get better.
Yeah.
No, this was the better game.
are you okay with putting it ahead of Resident Evil 4?
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
I think that's going to be top of the top, dude. I think it's got to stay up top.
Ocarina of Time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on the actual Metacritic list, it is number one. And I think deservingly so. It's funny, we have a friend that actually never played Ocarina of Time, never really played any Zelda game other than Breath of the Wild, and I got him to play Ocarina of Time in like an hour or two in.
He wouldn't touch it, right?
He was like, well, no, he played it for about an hour or two, but he was just like, this is unplayable. Like, he's like, I can't stand the camera, like, the controls, and he just quit playing it. So it is interesting. Like, I wonder what, like, a future generation that hasn't played Ocarina of Time is going to think about it.
But you got to keep in mind, like, I kind of understand where he's coming from, too. Obviously, we grew up playing games like that, like, where you'd always had to press the LR to change your perspective. What all games do that? Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, obviously. Wind Waker did that.
No.
Star Fox Adventures did that.
No, so Wind Waker had
It had the C stick.
it had a free range camera, but there was also lock on, which I think every
No,
3D Zelda-
it had the C stick, but most of the time I found myself just using the change my perspective.
Well, it at least had like, I mean, it had a right analog stick where you could like freely look around.
Yeah, but who wanted to use a C stick?
Also, I may be thinking of the HD version.
You could be
honestly,
thinking of that. Because I think the GameCube version was like that, but
I think it still holds up. I
Might be
think it's
wrong.
still super playable. I could play it today, have so much fun. I don't have a problem with the controls. I think it controls really tightly, really nice.
yeah. I think had he put a little more time in it, he probably could have got into it more.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I don't know.
No?
I think for some people, just that barrier of like the unfamiliar, like ancient control scheme is just.
Ancient?
I mean, it is ancient, like realistically. I mean, like think about if something came out and like had that control scheme, we would call it like
That's true.
ancient. So
You're
I
right.
still think it's an absolute classic, though. I think it is easily probably one of the, if not the best games of all time. So
100% agree.
I think something else I can go ahead and put in S tier. I don't know if you agree. I just also saw the Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, there's another one, huh?
I'll just put that. Where'd it go? Metroid Prime. What do you think that should be?
I scroll up the list real quick. Hot take, I'd put it in B.
Nah, that's crazy.
I'd put it in B.
That's crazy.
I'd put it at the highest of B, but I would put it in B.
I don't know. I'm pretty hard set on that being A or above, man. Like that's
If you give it an S, we can meet in the middle and give it an A. A low A.
I don't know if it's better than Twilight Princess, but I also don't know if I think Twilight Princess should be an A.
I think
I'll leave this in B for now, but I may have to revisit.
I
this.
think
may
my
have to
opinion on
debate
this
you
goes
later.
back to, you know how I said I prefer the 2D Zeldas, or I've had more enjoyment from it?
Yeah.
Just like that, I've had more enjoyment with 2D Metroids than
Yeah,
the 3D
actually,
Metroids.
I think that there's a time cutoff, like a year cutoff, as far as Metacritic ratings go. So I don't think it includes like Super Nintendo games. I'd be interested if it included Super Metroid, because I think Super Metroid would be S tier personally.
Oh, Super Metroid.
Super Metroid, yes, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
100% agree. 100% agree.
I can leave Prime at the very high B.
And if it makes you feel better, you know I love Metroid Fusion, but in this list, I'd probably put it as B tier as well.
Yeah. I don't think that would. I love it as well. I don't think it would necessarily need to be in like a top 50.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I want to put. I think you probably have had some experience with this game, but I kind of want to put Uncharted in C.
I've actually never played any of the Uncharted
Really?
games, to be honest.
Just, and again, this is kind of a bias on my part. that I just not into that type of adventure game. Adventure shooter, I guess you could call it. It was a fun game. I'd put it high C. I would definitely put it high C, but I don't know, just
Over Portal?
oh man. Oh, you're right. Ooh. But then
Should I just do this? I'm
yeah,
fine with Portal being above.
that's fine. That's
these,
fine. I'm fine
so,
with that. I don't know. I don't know. If you played it for the story, I could see where you'd get the enjoyment, and even like the collectibles and everything. But I don't know. I felt like the gameplay got a little stale to me. It's just a cover
Yeah.
shooter. That's all I see it as.
It's something that's never really interested me, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. I may have played it for maybe like 20 minutes at some point, like 10 years ago, but I don't really recall it.
I'm not a huge fan of cover shooters unless it's something like Gears of War, because I feel like Gears of War's atmosphere and environment was just a lot more unique.
Yeah, but even Gears of War, though, to me, was just like really stale. Like,
No, I get it. I understand.
especially for games that only had like 6 or 8 hour campaigns. I mean, they were like
That's true.
chores to get through for me.
And I don't see how people play the multiplayer.
I actually remember Horde mode in Gears of War was really fun.
You're right. That one was that
was
is
really
enjoyable.
fun. I don't think I've ever played like any other multiplayer though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I don't think you're gonna agree with me on this. GTA 5, I genuinely think should be A or S tier. You don't agree with that?
I think it's mid.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care for it.
Okay, but step aside like how you maybe personally like
Remove
your
the
personal
bias.
desire. Like think about I mean this is a groundbreaking game. This game is at like
All right.
borderline the height of its popularity after releasing almost 10 years or no, over 10 years ago. It has went through 3 generations and has been one of the most relevant games of each generation that it's went through.
Okay.
But then even going past like just its popularity, I mean, think about 2013, how big of an open world that was, how much detail, how much there was to explore, how cinematic and well put together the campaign is, how long it is. I think it's a really enjoyable campaign. And then you have this whole audience that has never even played the campaign. They just go straight to multiplayer.
That's true.
So then you have such an expansive multiplayer experience. I mean, it is like such an amazing package. Like whenever the I know there was some drama recently. I want to say the Rockstar CEO a year or two ago was like, "Oh, Grand Theft Auto should be a game that should be paid for monthly because the content's like
That's so
endless."
stupid, dude.
That's
So
stupid, but if there
stupid.
was any game to say that about, it would be GTA 5.
And people would pay for
I'm
it.
gonna be honest. I like if we're gonna have Final Fantasy 14 and stuff like that be monthly subscriptions, I think GTA 5 is up the quality and replayability factor enough to deserve to have that. If any other game were to, I don't think it should have a monthly price, but if any game out were to have a monthly price that doesn't currently, it would be Grand Theft Auto.
That's fair.
I just think it excels in so many leagues. I mean, so many people are into the racing mechanics in the game. I mean, there's just so many different areas of it that I think excel. Graphically, I think it was super advanced, ahead of its time. I mean, just seeing how like NPCs like interact and everything.
And as the generations came out of consoles, they were able to update those graphics, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's kept improving, but even like when you go back and look at like the PS3 version, to like look at that game and be like, wow, this is a PS3 game is pretty crazy.
We are officially 13 years later from its release, right?
It came out in 2013, I think. So
12 years.
yeah,
Okay.
12 years later.
Okay, removing my personal opinion on the game itself, I think it can go to S, below Resident Evil 4.
To S.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can probably agree with that. I'd say.
High A, low.
Wait, you said mid for your personal.
Oh, well,
right?
yeah.
I think I would say A. So do you want to do A or S?
That's fine. Low A is fine then.
Okay.
Like I said, personally, I'd say mid because I don't know.
Like I'm trying to combine like my personal, because obviously it has to be based on personal, but also trying to be semi-objective.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
I don't think this should count because this is a
yeah, that's just a
collector's
collection.
edition.
Can we agree to Majora's Mask being A tier above GTA 6?
5.
5. Oh no. I don't even like GTA, and I'm talking about GTA 6.
Majora's Mask A tier.
That's what I want to put it. That's where I want to put it.
I'm gonna be honest. I think we have the reversal opinion. I thought the GTA 5 was A. You thought it was mid. I think Majora's Mask deserves to be mid in the scheme of top 50 games of all time.
Okay.
I definitely think it deserves.
So
to be
where
mid.
will we put that then? Somewhere in the middle of.
Either B or C, maybe.
If we're averaging that out.
Okay, well, let me try to be objective. What's your objective reasoning that Majora's Mask is a better game than all these games?
Okay, so we have the same mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
It's like literally same engine as Ocarina of Time.
so
It was meant
easy
to be.
layup.
It was meant to be like a DLC or whatever.
Mhm.
DLC before DLC was a thing.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't downloadable, so it was just like a
content
yeah. However,
expansion. I think is
yeah,
probably-
that's the right
yeah.
word, expansion. However, they added the masks, which I think added a fresh twist to the game, and I like that we stepped outside of Hyrule. That was other than okay. It's hard to say that's the first 3D one to step outside of Hyrule because it's the second 3D game in the series, and technically it's not true for like all the Zelda games because you have freaking Oracle of Ages and Seasons and Link's Awakening, all that, which is in Hyrule. But it just feels like such a different environment from the one that we were used to seeing from Ocarina of Time, and I feel like it almost felt like being able to enjoy what we enjoyed about Ocarina of Time and set in a totally different story with totally different mechanics as far as the masks go. Also, I feel like the quest system to like collect the masks and all was way more involved than any other quests we did in Ocarina of Time, like optional side content.
Yeah. So I do agree with that. I think the masks were an amazing addition. I loved the concept of the time. I think there's a lot of underlying lore that has kind of like propelled the game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot I love about Majora's Mask. I do like Majora's Mask a lot. My biggest issues with Majora's Mask is you can definitely get semblances that I can't even say that actually because I was gonna say you can get semblances that the game is kind of rushed. Just like because I do feel
That's
like
the
Hyrule,
point, though.
I do feel like Hyrule Field feels more lively. Hyrule, kind of in general, and Ocarina of Time feels a lot more lively and developed than Termina Field, for example. Like when I think of
Okay.
Termina Field, it almost kind of makes me think of like, have you ever played any of those ROM hacks of Ocarina of Time
Yeah.
that have like these custom?
I haven't
like,
played it, but I've
maps?
seen it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It kind of gives me those vibes a little bit, but honestly, I can't even fault it for that much because at the same time, if you walk around Clocktown, ain't that what it's called, Clocktown?
Yeah.
Every single person is like doing something different, and it like progresses throughout the 3
Through
days.
3 days, yeah.
Which is something that I don't think a lot of games at that time had. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think Majora's Mask is really good. My biggest problem with Majora's Mask, playing it personally, is the dungeons.
Okay.
There's only 4 main dungeons, and I think at least 2 of them are kind of trash.
Which 2 do you not like?
The last 2. So the
Stone
water
Tower
one-
Temple.
Stone Tower Temple, I think is just kind of eh. I did like the dummy link thing though.
Yeah, that was cool.
I can't think of what it's called. That water one I hated, bro. Where you had to like go through the different like colored tubes or whatever.
Was the Great Bay.
Yes, yeah. I don't.
It was the
Great Bay
temple within the Great Bay, yeah.
that may not be the name, but it's something like that. I actually like the area leading up to that though, because that's when you get the Zora mask.
Mhm.
I think the swimming in that game is really cool.
Well, just think of how cool it is,
and that
too.
sneaking part where you're like sneaking in and you have
Yeah.
to like silence them. Okay.
Getting to play as
I can-
Deku Link, Goron
I don't think
Link,
it's mid.
Zora Link.
I don't think it's mid. I think it's B tier personally.
Okay. Let me.
You said A, right?
Yeah, let me tell you one more thing to kind of convince you. I feel like you described it perfectly when you said it almost felt rushed. I feel like thematically that's perfect. I feel like it should feel rushed in a way.
Yeah, that is true. I really love the 3D like mechanic.
I just think it did something so different with a game so similar.
And it worked.
It worked. I feel like while Ocarina of Time was about the hero and hope, I feel like Majora's Mask almost makes you feel like depressed and almost hopeless. And I feel like, I don't know, I just like how thematically it makes you feel something so wildly different from its predecessor.
I can see A tier. You let me do GTA 5 and A tier, so I can do Majora's Mask and A tier.
Okay,
I
that's fine.
can agree with that.
Okay.
For now.
All right, your turn.
All right. Have you ever played Little Big Planet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Have you played it?
Yeah. Not like a ton. But I played it as a kid. I don't think it deserves to be in this list whatsoever. Do you?
I'd put it in B tier.
B tier?
I liked it a lot. I played the crap out of that game, dude.
You think that Little Big Planet is
We could put it
test of time
low B.
is better than Portal 1 and 2, Uncharted 2, Perfect Dark, and GoldenEye, and Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Did you ever play around? I'm not talking about the main story content. Did you ever play any of the levels created by other people?
No. So I've actually only played the main story.
So you never messed with the creative mode or the levels
I've seen the creative
played?
mode stuff before, but I've never actually played it.
The insane amount
However,
of stuff.
just the mechanics of the game, I never really liked that much to be interested in the custom.
Well, let me tell you.
I do like the concept of like the custom level thing because I love Mario Maker. Mario Maker is one of my favorite games. I think it is such a cool concept, but that's because it's on the mechanics of 4 amazing games.
Yeah.
Little Big Planet always just, I don't know, man. It gives me a little bit of an ick. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Like, yeah, I genuinely would erase it from this entire list. Like,
I think you saw only 20% of the game.
Probably, yeah. But if I don't like how a game plays for like 20% of it, I'm probably not going to
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't have to play like that. You know how many first-person shooters I played in Little Big Planet?
Really?
People got creative.
Huh.
Now,
maybe I'm sleeping on it. Yeah, maybe I
which
just don't know.
it's okay based on your opinion. I can see where you're coming from, and you weren't. It had
I'll
its
classify it
limitations.
as not played. So however you think it should be ranked, I'll just match that.
I will put it low B, below BioShock.
Okay.
No, put it above BioShock, but below Elden Ring. You said you'd let me put it wherever. Okay, fine. Put it behind BioShock.
Yeah, that's gonna be my only.
Okay, fine. All right. Is that in the bottom left? Is that a Link to the Past or is that Four Swords?
I'm gonna assume this is Link to the Past
Because it says Four Swords too, but you know how the box art will say like Link to the Past and Four
So
Swords.
yeah, this cover art is the Game Boy Advance version
Which
of
had
Link to the
both.
Past, which came with 4 swords,
But we're gonna judge
or
it
vice
based.
versa, or something.
We're gonna judge it based off of Link to the Past, right?
Yeah, let's just judge it as if it's Link to the Past. Well, actually, the GBA port of Link to the Past is actually really good.
Yes.
So I would say they're both, and it's pretty similar, I'd say, to the original Link to the Past. So yeah, let's just rank it off being Link to the Past.
I think I've said this before. I think I said this in the last episode, maybe episode 1, where A Link to the Past is probably my number 1 favorite 2D Zelda.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
We're
Sorry,
gonna have
no.
a much different
That was
opinion
below Minish Cap. Minish Cap is top 1, and then Link to the Past was 2.
Link to the Past. So I played through it as a kid. I think it's a really great game. I think it's groundbreaking in a lot of ways. I think, again, same thing with all these games. Set the precedent for the future, da-da-da-da-da. I've never been a big fan of the art style. I think that's just a personal opinion.
Really?
Yeah. Music's okay, but I've also never been for some reason, that like style of 2D Zelda, I've never really been the biggest fan of, and I'm not sure why.
You know what's
Like
crazy?
just the sound, like how the music is actually like the sounds used to make it, but the music itself is great. The dungeons I feel like are kind of like the weakest part of the game. I love exploring, but the dungeons, especially with how many there are, because I want to say there's 3, and then there's 5 post Dark World.
Yeah.
And then I guess you go back to the Sanctuary would be the 6th, I want to say. There's a lot of dungeons, and it just kind of felt like a little bit of a slog to get through. Is that a word? Slog?
Yeah.
I say random words.
Slog is the right word.
But no, I still think it's a great game, and I think it deserves to be in this list. I'm mainly those are mainly my critiques in the realm of Zelda games.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I do think it is, for example, below. I'd put it above Minish Cap, actually.
I wouldn't. That's crazy that you say that, considering you didn't like the art style. The thing I was gonna say is, it's funny to me because that was the only Zelda to do that type of art style. That was the only 2D Zelda to do that type of art style.
Yeah, that I think. Well, no, Link's Four Swords is in
That's
Minish Cap style, right?
yeah. And then prior to that, Oracle of Seasons, Ages, Link's Awakening. That was all.
That was all Link's Awakening style. Yeah.
That was the only game to do that style. But
yeah,
I liked it.
I think
thought it was
growing up as
endearing.
a kid, there were tons of like those fan made like Zelda games online.
Yeah.
They always used the Link to the Past style. Maybe
Yeah.
that's like soured it for me. But,
Maybe.
For some reason, I've just never like it. Never felt like bright and vibrant. I'm actually even as a kid liked Link's Awakening's art style way more than. A Link
Okay,
to the Past.
I am willing.
I think A Link to the Past is a classic game, though. I think it's an amazing game.
So where would
I
you
just
put
don't
it?
have as far as where would I put it? I would put it B tier. However, I wouldn't put it below Majora's Mask because I think Majora's Mask should also be B tier. But
I'm fine if you want to put
I
it.
can put it in B tier below Majora's Mask if you think Majora's Mask should be A tier. I'm fine with that. But I do just want to, for the record, say I do think it's a better Zelda game than Majora's Mask.
We can put it before Metroid Prime, but after Halo 2. I'm fine with that.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that too. Because I do think Metroid Prime's a better game. Probably a crazy take. Have you ever played Red Dead 1?
I have only played the. I don't know if you remember this, but they released a copy of the game with the zombies mode only,
Yeah.
with just the Undead Nightmare. I played that, had fun with it. But as far as the rest of the game goes, I'm not really too interested.
Yeah, I'd say haven't played then because I've never played it at all. So, Orange Box is a little bit of a weird one because it's Portal, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2, and Team Fortress 2.
I don't think we should put this in this list. Unless we're talking about how good it is as a bundle.
Well, I don't want to rank bundles.
Okay, I don't
at
want to
the
either.
most since
Yeah,
Portal's
just
already in here. I just remove
move
that
it-
anyway.
move it to the
Yeah,
bottom.
let's just ignore it for now. Arkham City. Have you ever played Arkham City?
I have. It's alright. I'd put it in C tier.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it was. I don't know. I really liked it when it came out. I loved it when it came out. But like going back to play it today, I don't think I would have that same opinion.
That was the last Batman game I played. I haven't. Well, I've played like bits and pieces of the ones after that,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah, that one's just kind of C tier.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Where
I'm just
at?
not a fan of superhero games.
I'm not really either, but Arkham City I actually loved a lot. I loved the Arkham games growing up. But I think as far as like how it held up today,
all right, just
kind of
conjecture. If Arkham Asylum were on here, where would you put that?
probably mid.
Lower?
I think
Okay.
it's way worse. I think not way worse, but I think it's definitely worse
Okay,
than
okay, I
Arkham
was
City. I think
curious.
Arkham City is an improvement in every single way.
Okay.
If there were to be one included in here, it would be Arkham City, but I don't even know if I'd put Arkham City in a top 50 games of all time, to be honest. So I'm kind of just want to put it in mid. Like,
Yeah, we can put
I
mid.
don't see a reason why it should be here. I think it's an amazing game. Same thing with Odyssey, but I just don't think it should be in a top 50 games of all time. Like
That's
these
fine.
games, I can understand.
That's kind of what our mid list is at this point, huh?
Yeah, games that just I don't think should be in the top 50.
All right. This is. Can you scroll back up for me? I just want to see where we got where. Because the next game I'm wanting to do is Mass Effect 2.
Okay, so I've actually never really played Mass Effect.
I love this game. I loved Mass Effect 2 and 3. Prior to playing Mass Effect 2, I had never played Mass Effect 1. I bought the Origins bundle. I think it's called the Origins bundle. Whatever it's called, where it gives you all 3 games on Steam. And man, trying to play the first one's hard, but I'm trying to get through it.
Hard in terms of
Just to play it.
like
The gameplay is just
okay.
like other games, kind of stale,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I feel like Mass Effect 2 has a similar play style, but it looks a lot flashier, which keeps your attention more, and a little bit more, maybe a lot more customization.
Is it a top 50 game of all time?
Mass Effect 2, yeah,
Okay.
I'd agree. I'd say it is, but I'd put it. Scroll up real quick. Compared to these games, I'd put it high C, low B.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that.
Yeah. You right there
High
behind Portal.
C
Right
or-
there behind Portal's fine.
Okay.
It could go either way.
Yeah, I don't have too much opinion on it. Never played it, so I played it for like an hour back in the day, but honestly can't recall a single thing from it. Have you ever played Gran Turismo?
No.
Okay.
That's a racing game, right?
Yeah,
Racing
I'm familiar
games aren't
with
my
it, but
vibe.
I've never really played it that much. I'm more okay when it comes to like any sort of like racing type of game.
Are you like
or
a Burnout
sport.
Paradise guy?
Yeah.
See, I like Burnout a lot.
Yeah, so racing and sports type games, I'm way more on the arcadish side
Agree.
than the simulation-esque side.
Agree.
Not saying Gran Turismo is like that accurate of a racing simulator either. I feel like it's kind of a middle ground between like a Forza and then like your arcade type Burnout games. Yeah, I always lean more towards the arcade style with those games.
That's what I thought.
However,
I thought it was trying to be
there are
one.
a ton. I feel like that PS2 GameCube era had a ton of really great, I guess you would call it racing genre type of games that I really loved, and I don't think
They make them
we've
anymore,
really
right?
had them since that. Like I think of Jet Set Radio Future are easily two of them. Never really been big on Gran Turismo, but the Burnout games, Burnout 3, Burnout Paradise.
I'd only played Burnout
SSX,
Paradise.
have you ever played SSX? It was like snowboarding. Super fun. There's tons of games in that kind of style that I liked back then, but they just don't really make those now. I feel like they just go for like hyper realism, and I'm just not really a big fan of that.
And that caters to its group. It's just not us.
Yeah. There's definitely people out there. I mean, there's people out there that love Gran Turismo. I'm pretty sure they still make new Gran Turismos to this day. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I've never played any of them, so can't really say anything about them. Have you ever played Half-Life 1?
No. The House in Fate Morgana. Dream of the Revenants edition. It's a Switch game, I think. Can you clean out the list of all the extra Grand Theft Autos? Can you just put... I don't know where you would put
Well, these aren't extra. I can rank them.
Oh.
I think they're all ranked this high. So like this is San Andreas. I'll just start with this. San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto. So you're not a big fan of Grand Theft Auto, right? So do you want me to just kind of like knock out the ranking of these?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You do that.
I think 3 is insanely groundbreaking. I think alone that has to go in B tier just for, I mean, bro, like that's the first of that kind of game.
Okay.
And it did it so well. And there's actually a lot of aspects of Grand Theft Auto 3 that weren't really carried over in the later titles, as far as kind of more sandbox elements. Like a perfect example, there's a mission where you have to like tell this guy in his car and like kill him or something like that. I'm summarizing this way too much. But alternatively, you can go get a bomb somewhere else in the map that's like separate, completely separate from that mission, and you can actually plant it like under the car, and then when the mission starts and that car starts driving, you can just detonate it. Mission's done. So there's like a lot of different ways to like tackle. It was kind of like, you know how Breath of the Wild is like that, how there's like you have to do this, but you can pretty much just kind of like
do it however you want to.
Freeform almost, like how you want to do it. There's no like real right answer. There's definitely a real right answer, but there was a lot more, I feel like, freedom in terms of doing that in Grand Theft Auto 3 that in the later PS2 games, at least, and even kind of GTA 4 weren't really carried over. But then there's a lot kind of missing, like dialogue and story. It feels a lot more like dead and flat in GTA 3, but I just think for being the first of its time and still holding up that well, it deserves to be B tier.
Okay.
San Andreas, I also think should be B tier. If not I don't think it's on GTA 5's level, but
I'm fine wherever you want to put it.
GTA, that's just GTA 5 again. 4, I don't know. I think they're all like just really great.
I have played 4.
Okay, opinions.
See.
See, honestly,
I had fun with the multiplayer, but
I'm fine with that.
Story-wise, I was just bored.
I think driving is absolute crap in GTA 4.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can say GTA 4 C tier.
Is there any more
And then
Grand Theft
Vice
Autos?
City. Vice City's always been my favorite personally, but I
Okay.
think that's just again more of a personal thing. I can't objectively tell you why I think it's my favorite.
Okay.
But when compared to these two, though, honestly, I think it should be C tier as well,
Okay.
like objectively. But it is like.
Would you say it's above or below any of those other ones that we have on C?
Oh,
That's 4. You got 4.
yeah, no, I think both of them are.
Okay.
Or do you think GTA 4 should be low C?
No, that's fine. That's
I
fine.
think it's better than Uncharted.
Okay.
So,
Um,
yeah, I think that's all the GTAs.
Can you
other
bring
than
that?
duplicates?
Oh yeah, you can bring the list down.
I'm just moving all duplicates to the end. So.
There's a second orange box too up there,
Oh, yep.
and there's another Grand Theft Auto 5 up there.
Yep. And then I don't even know what this is. So we just get rid of that. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think one kind of summarizes them all, to be honest. So
Hey,
I'm just gonna kind of throw these as duplicates. And we'll just.
where did we
Pro
put that
Skater.
one? That's
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
yeah.
C.
Okay, that was the first one, right? Or is that the third one?
Honestly, I don't know. I thought it was the third one, but then I think this is the third one. Honestly, I can put it in mid. Do you want to put it in mid? I don't think
That's
it should be in the
fine,
top 50. Let's be honest.
But as much, this is gonna be a lot coming from me. As much as I dislike those types of games, I do think that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, if that's the one I'm thinking about, should go pretty high.
I do remember 3 being the best.
It was big. It was big.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends that played it,
I can
despite
put it
me
up
not
there.
liking it. I'm fine putting it up there, like low B behind Grand Theft Auto. I'd even put it above Portal.
Yeah, no, I do think it is super classic. Okay, that's fine.
Just to give it the appreciation that I know people
Yeah.
think it deserves. Cause,
Okay.
Wind Waker.
I
I say somewhere in A. Are we going to talk about the best version being the HD version?
So I don't know on Metacritic if which one is ranked. I feel like it's the GameCube version. I don't think the HD version is in the ranking, so I think we would have to talk about the GameCube version.
If it's
which
the
is kinda gonna be rough, in
GameCube
my opinion.
version,
Because the HD version, in my opinion, is far superior.
wait, the HD version is that what you
The
said?
HD version
Yeah,
is
I
far
agree.
superior.
That being the case, I think it should be somewhere beside Metroid Prime.
Not even for the graphics either. Like, okay, yeah, that, I think it should be beside Metroid Prime. I agree with that.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. Whenever this game came out, people hated the cell shading. People really disliked it because they came from Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and then they come up with this cartoony type game, and just the
Well, they
back-
did kind of bait everybody. So they released a tech demo before this that looked like more realistic, which is funny because if you go and look at that tech demo now, it looks so bad. But at the time, it was like, oh wow, like this is really like the new era. And then they kind of just flipped it and dropped a cartoonish game, and people are like,
Yeah.
this is childish, you're appealing, da 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 da. I think it was all junk. I think it's an amazing game. I think it graphically holds up the best.
Oh yeah,
I think art style, it's probably my favorite Zelda art style.
dude, just
Because
based.
again, I feel like it carries over to like the I feel like Minish Cap is like kind of spawn of the Wind Waker art style almost.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
I feel like if you were to play Wind Waker 40 years from now, our style would still hold up.
100%.
It's a very timeless looking art style.
and my only reason of saying that the HD is the superior version isn't for the graphics. I don't really care about. I don't think graphics or anything like that make much of an effect for me between the original and the HD, because I think the original looks great and plays great.
It's for the boat travel, isn't
it's
it?
solely for the what?
The boat travel. How slow it was.
Did they speed that up in the HD version?
They sped it up, and then they also, I think, changed how quickly you were able to change the wind.
Yeah, I do think they did some stuff like that. Honestly, I don't even mind that much. It was solely for the end game, the Triforce shards.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason I didn't beat it on the GameCube originally. I got to the very end, and for some reason, which is kind of completely opposite of how I play games now, I didn't really do much of any of the side stuff playing through the game. So I always had the base wallet, And then when I got to the end of the game and had to get all the Triforce shards,
You didn't have
it's like
enough money to-
thousands of rupees.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I spent hours, whatever that place is where it's like there's floors that you go down. The internet kind of said that was like the easiest way to grind for rupees. Was doing that for hours, still never had enough, and I was just like, bum
How old
this.
were you at that point?
I don't know. Probably like 13, 14. This would have been like middle school, junior high. This was way after it came out, and I'd played it before. I just never played it all the way through. But I literally got to the very end and stopped, and then when the HD version came out, I went back, played all the way through it.
You were just working a job at that point.
But no. I mean, I genuinely think that for some reason, a lot of GameCube games, because Metroid Prime has this exact same problem, is the last 10 to 20% of the game
It's finding all the
is
Chozo
filler,
artifacts.
bro. Like, yes, absolute filler. Yeah, like Metroid Prime, for no reason whatsoever, has such a padded ending of going back and finding the Chozo
Everything.
artifacts, because it's backtracking that is not fun, in my opinion.
I disagree a little bit. I feel like it did it better than Wind Waker.
It did it better than Wind Waker, but that's not saying much. It still is something that, like, if it was cut out the game entirely, would you miss it?
Not entirely, no.
I think it'd be a better game if it was cut out entirely, personally.
We're still talking about.
Prime.
Okay, yeah.
Well, both of them.
I don't
this
think-
applies to both of them, but I for some reason, Nintendo GameCube mainline games seem to all have had that problem, and I don't know if it was like
They're just trying to get
storage
playtime.
limitation. Yeah, because like they had a quarter of the disk space to use compared to like PS2, for example. So I don't know if that's their method of like conserving, being able to pull more like time and content out of like what they had to work with. I just the last 10% of both of those games can just be entirely cut out. I think
Okay.
it just kind of soils it a little bit. That's always been my biggest gripe with Wind Waker. The HD version pretty much fixes that entirely. But I'm going to rank the GameCube version here. If it was the HD version, I would probably put it in A tier, maybe. But given it's the GameCube version, I'd say B tier.
That's perfectly fine.
Have you ever played Metal Gear Solid 3? Is this 3?
Very briefly.
I'm going to be honest, I've never played it. I've only played one. I need to go down the rabbit hole of all the Metal Gear Solid games, but I have not yet. I want to.
We talked about this last episode with Madison too, but I think that's the one they're doing the remake on.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. Maybe it'll be maybe it'll be the better version to
Doubt
play
it,
for
but
the
yeah.
first time.
Doubt it, but yeah.
Yeah, but Kojima isn't involved with this one, I don't think, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's I don't even think it's his involvement that's necessarily a problem, because a lot of when you think about the Ocarina of Time remake, for example, that was handled by just some studio you've never heard of. Obviously Nintendo oversees everything, but that remake was pretty much entirely handled by some random company, and they did pretty good on it, but they made sure to keep it, directly connected. They didn't get too crazy with it. I imagine they'll probably do the same with Metal Gear Solid. It's mainly just because it's, I assume, still Konami.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like there's going to be some because you remember when they came out with the GTA trilogy, and it was notoriously horrible.
No.
So they remade GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, put it in a trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
and released it. And it ran terribly, and it looked horrible. The rain was messed up. It was bad. The entire
And that was a third party that did the remake or
I want to say it was some third party. They got some
remaster.
some random company to do the remasters of them, and they were bad. Notoriously got crapped on. It was I think it was so buggy, rain didn't work in the game or something. It would go through buildings or something like that. It was really jank. It was super jank.
Dang.
So I feel like I don't have high hopes for a remake. I'd rather just play the original when I do play through them. But because I really liked one. One I think was great. So I am excited to play through them, and I feel like I'll probably appreciate it being in this list when I do play it. But
That's fine.
for now, I never played it.
Let's go ahead and just do the next one on the list.
Galaxy.
Yeah. definitely think it's definitely one of the better 3D Marios.
I think all of them, like, that's... I agree, but that's just because I think all of them are, like, so good. Hold on. Okay, so one thing to note, 1 and 2 is on this list.
Oh.
Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2. Because both of them are actually on the Metacritic Top 50. I know that for sure.
I want to say... I feel like Super Mario Galaxy 2, I feel like it was just the first one, but better.
Yeah, that's usually my opinion on it. I think it's like a more beefed up first one, but it's always weird to say that because the first one is still so
No, it's
amazing.
very good.
You remove the second one, I still think the first one deserves to be in this conversation.
Would you want to put the first one in A and the second one in S? Like low S? Or we could do it the other way. We could do the first one B.
One thing I just realized,
A.
Mario 64 is not on here.
Is that...
I would personally put Mario 64.
Wait. I think that's because, Wait, you're right. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time's on here, but
That's
Mario
weird.
64 isn't. Well, I mean, that's fine, but I think Mario 64 is the best 3D Mario still. I think it's the most iconic, most memorable, most defining, most innovative, and I do still think it controls really well.
It did those controls
very
right.
Precise.
It did it very
those
right.
controls are so. I think that's why it's such a popular speedrun game. It's just because the controls are so like reliable. But I think the Galaxy games are the like next runner up for the 3D Mario games.
If we're
I don't
talking
know.
personal,
I would put them together personally. I think 2 would be above 1, but I don't
Okay.
think it's in a whole tier list above it. And I would do A tier.
I was gonna say bottom.
I don't think it's on the level of Ocarina of Time. I don't think it's on the level of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
Um.
I'd say bottom of A.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Do you think it's above Majora's Mask?
No, in my opinion,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
All right. Is that the first Half-Life?
2. This is Half-Life 2.
Okay. So
Have you ever played either of them?
So which one is it that's divided into part 1 and part 2? Is that Half-Life 2?
So
I played.
yes, but no. So Half-Life 1 is just Half-Life 1. Then there's some spin-offs. I think there's like Blue Shift and something else.
Mm-hmm.
Half-Life 2 is not split into 2 parts. There's 2 expansions. There's Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Half-Life 2 Episode 2.
I've played the ones that are on the orange box.
Well, all 3 of them are. So Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and
And-
Half-Life
okay,
2
so all
Episode
that's
2
on
are
there.
all on there.
So is that going to encompass that Half-Life 2?
No,
Or
Half-Life 2
the
is just Half-Life 2. So it's weird. Don't think of Episode 1 and Episode 2 as
part of Half-Life
parts
2?
of Half-Life 2.
Just think Half-Life
They're
2.
separate games entirely. I'm almost positive.
I'd put it...
I'm going to be honest. I played Half-Life 2 a long time ago. Probably around like late 2000s. I didn't like it, bro. I'm going to be honest.
I enjoyed
didn't
it.
like
I had fun with it.
Really?
I had fun with it, but I don't think it deserves to be above C. I think it's a fine game. I think comparing it to everything else, yeah, bottom of C is fine. That's fine. It's definitely not mid. It's a fun game.
Yeah, I think it's another one of those things similar to GoldenEye. I think how technologically advanced and innovative it is what is holding it to this high of a caliber. I actually like Half-Life 1 a lot more. Half-Life 1 was a lot more enjoyable.
Is that it right there?
Yeah, right here.
Here, go ahead and put that somewhere. I've never played Half-Life 1.
I don't think it's that much. But honestly, I wouldn't put this in C, but I'll go with you on C because
Wait, you wouldn't put that in C?
I wouldn't have.
If
it
you
in
would
this
put,
list
if you
personally.
wouldn't put it in C, then I'm fine with B.
No, I meant lower.
Oh, never mind.
I meant getting it out of here.
No,
honestly,
we'll
like-
stay in C then. We'll stay in
Okay,
C.
yeah. That's what I was saying. I personally wouldn't have it this close. I think Half-Life 1 deserves to be kind of in the bottom of this echelon. Yeah, it upsets me that Quake and Doom isn't on here. Because Doom should easily fill that spot. Breath of the Wild. Oh yeah, I think we have differing opinions on this. I think Breath of the Wild's a really great game. I think it would be B.
No,
tier.
I was gonna say B.
Okay.
I'd say
okay,
B.
Cool. I'm just gonna Wii U in here. Where at though? Like, do you think it's better than Elden Ring?
We're definitely above Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
Definitely above BioShock.
Yeah.
I'd put it right there.
Do you still think Halo 2 should be here above Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild?
You can put those above BioShock, but behind. Yeah, go ahead. You're fine.
With doing what? Putting this behind BioShock?
Yeah. No, above BioShock, but before.
Okay.
Scroll down real quick. What else we got?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, bro. If you had to go back and play one right now, would you play BioShock or Halo 2?
Halo 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stand corrected. All right.
So I want to
we
put.
only have like 4 left.
Yeah, I want to put Halo Combat Evolved in S.
No, absolutely.
I want to put it
not,
in
bro.
S. Dude.
Absolutely not.
I want to put it in S.
Bro, we're not about to say that that's the 3rd best game of all time. I'm gonna be honest. Halo campaigns are trash to me. Like straight
Really?
up, like they're not enjoyable to me. They
Really?
are such a slog to get through. Again, I don't even know if that's a real word. They're not fun to me. Like,
Again, nostalgia glasses, dude.
I played it as a kid.
Game is so iconic, though, dude.
I
have fun with it, dude. I could go back and play it right now and have fun with it.
multiplayer.
No, I could go play it on Legendary and struggle and enjoy myself.
I've played Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4.
Okay, what is
I played
it?
all of them up to 4. Campaign sporadically in between them. Actually, I don't think I've ever played 3. So I played 1, 2.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played 3.
Dude, wait, scroll down real quick.
I played 1, 2, Reach, and 4.
I'm surprised 3 isn't on this list.
Yeah, I feel like it was probably ranked pretty high.
Okay, I am fine.
I've played through not all the way through, but I've played parts of campaigns of all of them, and dude, I did not like it, bro. It was so boring. It was literally like Call of Duty level, like campaigns to me. I don't think the game. I could go back and play multiplayer and have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I do think a lot of that is nostalgia. I do think it was very innovative for the time. I don't know, dude. Halo just has a stink to me, man. Like for modern day.
Okay, here's the thing.
Outside of multiplayer,
if I'm thinking of comparing it to Halo 3 would easily be S tier. So I am good with putting it at the bottom of A or top of B.
I can do it beside Metroid Prime.
Okay,
Is that fair?
that's fine.
I don't know. I feel like you were strong on it though. You said S though, so maybe we should just put it in A. I mean, I do think it's an absolute classic.
It's fine to go back to B because, again, if Halo 3 were on this list...
If you had to play a campaign right now, you're telling me you'd play Halo over Metroid Prime. And Wind Waker. And Elden Ring. And Breath of the Wild. Like, really think about it. Like, try to remove, like, the nostalgia of it for a second. Think about if you actually had to sit down for 8 hours today and play one of these games. Playing the Halo 1 campaign.
Okay, you can put it behind Halo 2.
Oh, you think it's worse? You'd rather play Halo 2?
Yeah.
Okay, well. I do think they should be together.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think they're both classic.
But I still keep my argument. If Halo 3 were on this list, I'd put it S tier. Easy.
I would disagree, but all right. Skyrim. Okay, maybe we're gonna have differing opinions on this.
I think it deserves to be really high.
Yeah, I agree. I would say.
I think it's somewhere in A.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's better than Majora's Mask.
That's okay. That's fine. That's okay.
But I keep having the problem with I don't think this should be here in general. So
I think for Skyrim, dude,
I think it's everything I said about GTA 5. I think applies to Skyrim as well.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like with this game that it's just the barrier entry for an Elder Scrolls game was definitely lowered. Because you've played Oblivion, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Have you played Morrowind?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it made it a lot more friendly to the more common gamer.
Yeah.
Without losing.
Watering down anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Without watering down. That's a perfect way to say it. I feel like it did it
Which hardcore
perfectly.
Elder Scrolls fans would
They're going to
disagree
disagree.
with that.
They'll
Yeah.
disagree.
But I mean, in reality, like the level, very minimal, watered down to expand it to a lot more people.
Yeah.
And I still think it does things that like I don't think really that many other games since then have done. You know.
Uh-huh. Which I can agree with hardcore Elder Scrolls fans when they say that they think the story is better in Oblivion, because I hear that argument a lot, and I can agree with it. I do think the story is a little plain, but I don't think that's what you want from Skyrim. Skyrim, dude, I see Skyrim.
I don't
as
even think the story's plain though. I mean, think about like how just like expansive the world is, how much personality every like corner of the world has.
No, I agree with that. I'm just talking about like literally just the main quest line.
Oh
It's
yeah,
kind of meh. That's all right.
To my understanding, I think most people it's like watered down like RPG mechanics is I think their biggest gripe.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that I think like hardcore Elder Scrolls fans like Oblivion or Morrowind over Skyrim is because it's like it's the same thing with Fallout. I think they really like Fallout 3 and New Vegas over, which I don't think most people prefer 4, but because 4 waters down the RPG elements a lot, like the decisions and dialogue.
Yeah.
But in an attempt to make it more appealing, I don't think Skyrim really watered down that much. But I do think that the RPG elements of its like core are a little bit stronger in the other ones.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, come on, Skyrim's the best one. Let's be honest, it blows it out of the water.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the UI is infinitely better than the previous games.
I think everything almost is infinitely better. To be honest,
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
That's fair.
I think it's an absolute classic.
I'm cool with
the
it.
test of time.
Very good DLC.
It's just like GTA 5. They have not had to make a sequel because it is so good. It's been able to hold up this whole time.
And they've been able to resell it every 2 or 3 years.
Yep. On an even more scummier level than GTA 5. So.
Also, the modding community just makes it have like a huge
for both of them
lifespan.
But especially Skyrim.
Really, GTA 5 has a big modding community?
I'm pretty sure. I get maybe it's not like modding, but well, like
if you're talking about just communities in general,
like
I get
the
it.
doom scrolling, like on well, even like no, like the would like the RP servers be considered like modding? Then it's super big.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean that's what a ton of people like still play every day.
Just community support in general.
Yeah, community support in general. Yeah, and I think modding is just included in community support. So I think community support for both of these games just expands it so much.
What thing is
all
that?
right, 2 left. Soul Calibur and Tekken 3. Have you ever played Tekken?
I have not. That looks like that's the older Soul Calibur, isn't it? Which one is
this
that?
This is the first one, the Dreamcast one.
I don't have an opinion. Never played it.
I've honestly never understood why Soul Calibur specifically, because I mean this is high up on the list on Metacritic too. This is like
it?
number like I think it's in the top 5.
Okay.
Weirdly enough, even ranking it in the realm of fighting games, I don't know why. Like when I think of iconic fighting games that still holds up to this day, that I can't think of that many like problems about. Like the Ocarina of Time of fighting games, basically. I think of Mortal Kombat 2. I think of Street Fighter 2. Even in a modern day, Street Fighter 4, I think, was amazing. I don't know. I think Soul Calibur is a great fighting game. I think 2 is better than 1, so I'm not really sure why.
2 is the one that was on the GameCube and PS2, right?
Yeah.
That's the one I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, I think 2 is definitely better than 1. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know why it's on this list. Like, I hate to say mid because, again, it's not a mid game. It's a really fun
You played
fighting
it, though?
game. Yeah. So I actually grew up. My like first like kind of full console experience was the Dreamcast, because we got it from somebody. Somebody gave us the Dreamcast, and they had a ton of pirated games on it.
Really?
Crazy enough, back in like 2004. So like after its lifespan, we were given it, and because I think the person that had it just kind of like got tired with it. And it was a friend of my uncle's basically, and but they were big into kind of just like hacking and modding and everything. But the Dreamcast, you never actually had to like soft mod or hard mod. You could literally pretty much just burn the games to a CD drive or to a CDR, and it would just run it.
That's so
So
funny.
we literally had like a stack of like 50 to 100 Dreamcast games that I just got to like kind of go through as a kid and like
Bootlegged.
experiment with. So I do remember playing Soul Calibur as a kid, and obviously I played Soul Calibur later in life. But I think it's a great fighting game, but I just don't see why it's here. So it's just kind of mid. Same thing with Tekken. I mean, like I've never been too big of Soul Calibur or Tekken fans. If we're talking fighting games, I kind of stick with the big dogs. I prefer Street Fighter.
People would argue that that's a big dog.
Tekken and Soul Calibur.
Tekken.
Yeah, I mean they're big dogs, but they're not like Street Fighter level. I doubt it. Are they? Do you think?
I kind of do. I kind of think their community
I
is pretty
figured like
large.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Smash are like the big three, and then I think the other ones are right below it. I don't know. I personally would put both of them mid, just because even as fighting games, I don't think they hold up in this list. I think if Street Fighter 2 was here, if Mortal Kombat 2 was here, I would put it kind of like in this Tony Hawk Pro Skater realm, but they're not. So, what do you think?
Since they aren't here, can we put Tekken into C tier?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Where at?
Just at the bottom's fine.
And
Like,
then
I don't really.
Soul Calibur mid.
Yeah, I don't really care for the first one.
I think I do prefer Soul Calibur over Tekken, but I'm fine with this ranking. So
All right, is there anything else on the list that isn't a
I think
duplicate?
that's everything.
All right,
Let's think of a few things though that like we would want. I'll like edit them in on this list. So
Definitely-
like Street Fighter 2. Like I feel like, have you ever played Street Fighter 2? Were you ever a Street Fighter person? I think Street Fighter 2 is an absolute classic.
I played every now and then, but not like enough to call myself like a super fan or anything.
Yeah.
But I played it.
Yeah, I think it's in a lot of ways still a gold standard of Street Fighter.
I would definitely put Halo 3 as an S tier game.
That's crazy.
Really? Why is that crazy?
Bro, you're telling me you would rather play Halo 3 over Twilight Princess? Over GTA 5?
It's not like okay, well yes, easily over
That's
GTA
crazy.
5.
Skyrim?
Yeah, I'd go back and play it.
You would play, okay, if you had to choose one to be just the absolute better experience as a game, you would choose Halo 3 over Skyrim.
Over Skyrim, yes. Over Twilight Princess, probably no.
Over Skyrim, yes?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Over Zelda, I mean,
That's
over Twilight
insane.
Princess, probably not though.
That's your most like normie take I think I've ever heard.
Really?
To be honest. Yeah. That just seems like a
Dude,
super
no.
normie take. I love watching I watch a lot of interviews of like rappers and celebrities and stuff, and it's funny whenever they get asked like they'll be like, yeah man, I'm so big into gaming, man, and it's like, what's your favorite game?
Call of Duty.
Bro, yeah bro, I think Call of Duty the best game ever,
Halo.
man. You know, I be killing people on Call of Duty, man. I be going crazy, man. That's like the best game, man.
Man.
I
don't
know.
think-
that's just what I think of when I think of like Halo. Honestly.
I don't think Halo is a normie take, dude. I think it was so popular that like everybody played it.
Yeah.
Except you, I guess.
No, I played them. That's
Oh,
what I'm
I thought you
saying.
said you didn't play Halo 3.
No, yeah, 3 I didn't play, but
That's what I'm
that's because
saying.
like I didn't. I think I didn't. I started with 360, but I don't think Halo 3 was out at the time. Did it come out with the 360?
With the 360?
Um.
I don't know if it
Yeah, I
came
don't know.
out with the 360.
I
but...
somehow missed 3 and ODST, and then I went to
Yeah,
Reach.
ODST was good too.
Reach was the next one I played, but again, campaign was boring. Campaign sucked. I only played multiplayer with friends, and it was fun. But can I go back to that long term? No. It's kind of just like a moment, you know. Like Black Ops 2 was really fun when I was 12, you know, multiplayer all day. But would I put that in this list? No. Does it stand the test of time? No. Is it even still playable to this day? Probably not. So,
Which game are you talking about?
like Black Ops 2 or any like game
I
that I,
think it's
feel
still
like
playable.
has a super fixation on multiplayer. No, I meant like literally. Like I don't think the servers.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Halo 3 came out 2 years after the 360 launched.
Okay, yeah. So I had the 360 the year it launched, and then we went to PS3.
That's right. I remember you. I remember that.
So then I would have. That's why I would have missed out on Halo 3. But Yeah, we're just gonna have to.
Okay, you know what? We'll take Halo 3 off it because I wouldn't play it over
No, no,
Twilight
no,
Princess.
lock in, bro. No, lock in, lock in.
No, I won't play it
Keep
over
your
Twilight
answer.
Princess.
I'll just
bro.
say I disagree, but you're saying it'd be A tier then.
Yeah.
Okay. I think some big hitters that are missing is Super Metroid. I would put
S.
A or S tier. Yeah, honestly S. I don't know.
No, I put S.
Yeah, I can put it S. Super Mario World.
Can I be honest? I wasn't a fan of Super Mario World.
Hmm.
I like what they did with it.
What about, do you like 2D Marios in general?
And to be quite honest, I don't know if I'm even really a Mario fan.
Really?
Like, I like it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like it like I like Zelda.
Yeah. I love the
Or
Mario
Metroid.
games. I think, talking about top 50 of all time, I think I would probably put 3 in there over World. I've always liked 3 more than World.
Actually, you're right. That's the one I do like, actually.
3? Yeah.
Because I would play that all the time on my Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I love 3. Yoshi's Island has always been like one of my favorites.
Are we counting that as a Mario game?
Yeah, it's Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island,
that's true.
technically. So I personally count it, but I don't think it's top 50. But I've just personally really always enjoyed it. What else would I? Because, I mean, I'm going to be honest. There's some stuff here that I just don't think should be in top 50, so I'm kind of wondering what should replace it. Doom. Doom should 100% be in this list. I mean, we talk about games that just get repackaged over time, like Skyrim. Doom is that, like, times 10. I mean,
Yeah.
they're still selling new versions of Doom. So, the classic Doom, not the 2016 Doom.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of the 2016 Doom, personally. I think it's cool and everything, but what else? I'm surprised any of the original Resident Evils aren't on here, like 1 and 2.
That's true.
I definitely think 1 or 2 should be in the top 50, near the bottom, but
You know what I'm surprised about? I'm surprised you haven't gone to bat for any Pokemon games.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, look at the couch.
Yeah, true. I wouldn't have more than one. I would have the best Pokemon game to represent Pokemon as a franchise, because I do feel like they're very, like,
What would that be?
common. I would say any of them from the third, fourth, or either the third or fourth gen. I think the third and fourth gen are kind of the pinnacles of the Pokemon series.
Yeah.
So I would just put one of those in in the top 50 to kind of represent, because I do think that Pokemon deserves to be in the top 50. Personally, you disagree?
No.
Okay. Well, you do disagree though, right? Because I mean, you're not a big Pokemon person, right?
I'm not a big Pokemon fan, but I don't disagree either.
I mean, I think RPGs.
I think it deserves a place.
I think there's classic RPGs in general missing from this. Like, there's not a. I just realized, there's no
Not a
Final
Final
Fantasy.
Fantasy games.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy 7 should definitely be here. I would put that in B tier somewhere. If not A tier, honestly. Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 I'd put in A or B. Chrono Trigger, would that be a top 50?
Chrono Trigger?
Yeah.
I agree. I do agree. Yeah.
That it
Chrono
should be
Trigger
top
for sure.
50? Yeah.
It did a lot for what year it was released. In my opinion, I think it was way ahead of its time, despite the art style. I'm just talking about story wise.
In everything, yeah. I think it should be near the bottom of top 50.
Rest in peace, my man Toriyama.
Trying to think of what other games would be missing here. I can't think of really any NES games that I would consider other than Mario 3. Top 50. Super Nintendo games. Super Metroid, I think, would be the best.
I'm drawing blanks.
Yeah, I'm drawing blanks. I feel like most of the.
I wish they
Big
would have.
hitters.
I wish they would have put. This is definitely not all the games. Didn't they say it was like top 50?
Yes, it's supposed to be top 60, but yeah, there's duplicates, so there's no way this is the top 60.
10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19.
Let me just pull up the actual list and see what else is missing here, and we can just give our opinion on it. So Metacritic top of all time.
There's only like 35, 40 on here.
Okay, so... And this is a little outdated because I'm pretty sure Tears of the Kingdom is now top 50. Let me get to that first, and then we can discuss it. So Baldur's Gate 3 is number 21.
It's definitely A tier.
I'm going to say that I've never played it. I have played it, but only for like a few hours, so I would say I never played it, personally. I don't think I've played it enough to have an opinion on it. So The House in Fata Morgana Dreams of the Revenants is that game we didn't recognize.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, I'm going to be honest.
I have no idea.
And that's kind of surprising.
It looks like it's a Switch game.
Usually I know kind of like everything, but like as far as it at least existing, yeah, I don't even know what that is though. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is number 29. Mid. So that was actually Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, was it?
I had a feeling that this wasn't the cover for Snake Eater, so but I knew it wasn't the substance, because I think, isn't there a Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, and then also Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty? This is Sons of Liberty, and I recognized Substance, and I was like, oh, well, this isn't the cover for Substance, so it must be 3, but it's actually 2. Either way, I never played it.
I see Final Fantasy 9 is also in the top 50.
Final Fantasy 9?
9.
What number is it?
9?
I haven't got
51.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
it's
wait.
right outside.
Oh, never mind.
50.
Yeah, it's not even top 50.
Last of Us is 44.
I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I'm not really...
I'm not a big fan of those the new modern day Sony exclusives. I'm going to be honest. Oh, God of War. God of War should definitely be in here.
Yeah.
If not...
You talking about
honestly,
God of War
either,
2018?
Either. Honestly. Like, God of War 2018, I feel like has a big argument of being here, and I also feel like the original God of War, either 1 or 2, deserves to be up here. I personally would go with the original.
Yeah, I figure
or
you would.
1. But either one of those, yeah, like when you start talking about Uncharted, The Last of Us, Little Big Planet 2 included in that, like I love the OG Sony exclusives, like Ape Escape, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet. I love all those. I've never been a big fan of when they started getting like serious with it, you know.
Yeah.
The Last of Us was a cool game, but it just never like stuck with me that much. And I also don't think it's to the level of like Red Dead 2, to where it's like I can give it enough like respect to be in the top 50. I think it's a great game. I don't really care for it too much. I think it's a great game. I don't think it deserves to be in top 50. Red Dead 2, I don't care for that much. I think it deserves to be in the top 50. And Last of Us Remastered is here.
Again, they were
Persona
good games,
5.
but...
Yeah, Final Fantasy 9 is the highest rated, which 7 may not be. I think there's some sort of like year thing. I think after 1998 is when they start ranking them.
Okay.
So I think anything before 1998 isn't on here, which is why 7 isn't on here and 9 is. But 9's a super underrated Final Fantasy, in my opinion. But
most people just focus on the big ones like 7 and what's the other big one?
10. I think 7 and 10 are usually kind of looked at as like the big dogs, but I think 9, 12 are really great and super underrated. I'm 6 also I think should be in the conversation.
What about 1?
The Elden Ring DLC is number 53. Astrobot's number 55.
It's crazy considering it won Game of the Year.
Yeah, that's great and all, and I said it should win Game of the Year, but come on, 55, like, let's be real. Devil May Cry, that's one I didn't even think about, number 56. I don't think it should be top 50. I could see it being, like, low of top 100, maybe. I think it was a classic but forgotten about. Chrono Cross, I would put Chrono Trigger above Chrono Cross. Metaphor is actually 64.
Let's go.
And Oblivion 65. Quake is actually on here at 67. Yeah, man, you can take Half-Life and Perfect Dark off, put Quake in its place. Personally.
For both of them.
Yeah, for both of them, honestly. With all due respect. Ninja Gaiden Black is actually one of my favorite games.
What console was that on?
Xbox.
That was
And
the
it's
original
been
Xbox?
remade. Yeah, but it's been remade as Ninja Gaiden Sigma for modern consoles. So, it basically just Ninja Gaiden 1. Well, I think it was Ninja Gaiden, and then they made Ninja Gaiden Black, and then Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and they're all the same game pretty much. I think that was an absolute classic, dude. If you ever played that game, oh my god, bro, please go buy it on Steam. If there's any game I could recommend,
Is that one?
yes, dude, that is so much.
I've only ever
And
played
it's
the Ninja
hard.
Gaiden that was on the 360.
Do you know what number it was? Because that's what I'm saying. I think they remade it as Ninja Gaiden Sigma on the 360.
Oh.
But they also had Ninja Gaiden 2 and Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 on the 360. And I think 3 came out on the 360 as well.
It's possible, I'm not sure.
2 is really fun. 3 is bad, I'm going to be honest. And 1, I think, is a freaking classic, dude. I love 1. I would actually put Ninja Gaiden 1 in the bottom of top 50.
Really?
I would go that far.
Wait, is that the side-scroller one?
No, it's the 3D one.
Oh, okay.
I really love the side-scroller ones actually too, the NES ones, but I don't think they're top 50, but I really like them. But nah, dude, the first Ninja Gaiden, the 3D first Ninja Gaiden, it's classic.
I
man.
think the crazy thing about this list is that there is way more than 50 good games in the world. There's a lot of very, very good games. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to throw
yeah, that's
everything
what I'm
on the
saying,
list
like,
comparatively. But I think as far as what we have so far, this is a pretty decent. And obviously it's subjective to us
Yeah.
and what we've discussed. But I could understand any of these games being anywhere.
But it's just funny because like we have that should show you how like the top 50 is just all such amazing games that Mario Odyssey, which I think is probably the best Switch game outside of Breath of the Wild, is in a mid category compared to the rest. And Arkham City, which is I think probably a top 10 game out of the 7th generation, is also just like considered mid. That should show you how good these games are. They have Code Veronica as the next Resident Evil on the list. That's kind of interesting.
It is interesting considering Code Veronica wasn't as enjoyed by
Yeah, I didn't
fans.
think it was as popular. Maybe not as. I think it was a very enjoyable game, but I didn't think it was that popular.
I'm just saying I will
That's
definitely
like-
look forward to a remake.
Oh heck yeah, dude! I love Code Veronica.
That will definitely be a banger.
Burnout 3 Takedown is number 78. That should definitely be there. I love that game. Diablo 1. Diablo 1. I feel like it should honestly or Warcraft 2. I think Diablo 1, Warcraft 2. Modern Warfare 2 is number 81. That's crazy.
Heavy.
We can take that off. God of War, the original, is 94. Or I'm sorry, it's number 83.
Think how long does that list go for?
I'm just looking at the 100. I'll stop at 100.
Oh.
Civ 4, 85.
I've never played a Civ game.
Civ should definitely... There should definitely be some entry of Civ in the top 100.
Is it really that fun? I feel like I've never played a...
I think it's an acquired taste. I can't say that like on an individual level it'll be fun for you, but they're amazing games. And they're very well thought out, expansive, innovative. Any sort of Sim City should be on this list. I think 2000 should be if not top 50, top 100.
Okay.
I've always liked the original SimCity, the Super Nintendo one. It's very bare bones and basic when you compare it to 2000 and obviously later ones, but there's such a charm to it. I've always loved that game, but 2000 is just so classic to me. And then the Sims in general. I mean, like, I've never been a Sims person. I've always been a SimCity person, but I mean, it's still absolute classic. Like, I think that Sims should be recognized.
I used to play
some degree.
the My Sims games. You know what I'm talking about? The little chibi looking
Yeah,
Sims.
yeah,
I used to
yeah.
play those.
Yeah, see, I don't even know anything about those other than the art style.
Yeah, they're fun. They were
Honestly, don't
definitely
know-
way different from Sims.
Honestly, don't know much about Sims. I've never really like watched too much gameplay of Sims. Smash Brothers Brawl is number 87. That's
Brawl?
Brawl, yeah.
That was the first Smash game that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
I don't think I've seen Ultimate.
You know what? I could see why be hype for Subspace Emissary.
Yeah, well, I think like see the thing to put into perspective is that these rankings are from when the game came out. So I think in 2008, from a critic and not like a pro
Smash.
The competitive scene, it was probably a great game, and I still think it's a great game. I think Brawl. If there was a Smash game I could be left with, I would actually. There's a lot of reasons I would go Brawl. I think it's side content, Subspace Emissary. I think how much it did from Melee was the biggest jump in the series. So I actually like Brawl a lot. I know it gets a lot of hate, but
I just wish that they would have brought back some form of Subspace Emissary.
well, they did in Ultimate. What is it called? It's the
Are you talking about with the little
Story of Light or whatever. I forget what it's called.
That one doesn't feel like it though.
No, it's nothing similar. I agree. I didn't even play it, but
Yeah.
there was their excuse of like bringing a story mode back, you know.
That wasn't any.
But
it didn't feel like a story
Subspace
mode.
Emissary is so underrated.
It was lit in the cutscenes where you got to see the
Yes.
characters interact with each other.
Yes,
That was epic, dude.
I love.
That was like the
Subspace
Avengers
Emissary.
of Nintendo right there.
I played it many times.
Agree.
I can't think of anything bad about the Subspace Emissary. Like you would, on surface, like think that it would suck, you know, gameplay wise, but no, it was really fun.
No, they did a good job with it.
Yeah, they did an amazing job with it. It was
Like thinking stuff
super-
of having Pikachu powering the freaking ship.
Yeah, or like I like the part whenever Diddy Kong, whenever you get to like the jungle part with Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong, and then Rayquaza comes out, or
Yes!
the cutscene leading up to the when
Yes!
you start playing as Ike or Marth. I think it was Ike. Like, there's so many epic moments from Subspace Emissary. Man, that's underrated. Okay, Brawl definitely deserves to
Yeah, that's fine.
to be acknowledged as a Smash game up here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I'd want to point out in the top 100. Super Mario 3D World is number 100. That should not even be discussed. Get that out of here. I mean, respectfully, it's a good game, but respectfully, it should not be included. Street Fighter 4 actually is number 103, so I'm happy about that.
Pretty close.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we have a decent list here. I don't think we have too many
Yeah.
crazy takes. There's not too much I disagree with on here other than this.
Really?
Should
That's
be
the
a little
one?
bit lower. No, it's probably not the only one. These as well,
Oh,
but and this
bro, come on, dude.
Majora's Mask, Halo, Little Big Planet. I'm kind of think it's a little too high, but you know what are you gonna do?
You had my input.
But
Whether you guys think this our tier list is trash or not, discuss it. What do you think should have been at top? Are our takes bad,
trash.
or are we doing pretty good with our opinions?
I feel like we did pretty good.
I think it's pretty fair. Well, maybe not fair. I feel like we could have been considered unfair towards like the Red Dead games, but because I know they have their own fan base.
Oh yeah, we didn't rank Red Dead. I would rank Red Dead objectively in the B2.
Okay.
But I don't want to play it personally, so I'm just going to leave it here.
Yeah.
But I do think it's pretty good.
And I'm sure that P5 will change after I get around to playing it once I finish Metaphor.
Yeah, same. I think once I actually play P5, I'll have some pretty high opinions of it. So
I'm surprised P3 Reload wasn't up there.
Reload?
For P3, yeah.
That's not too surprising to me.
Really?
I feel like that's big in the JRPG realm, but not big in the mainstream realm.
Yeah.
And I think Persona 5 was big in the mainstream realm.
That's fair. Okay, I got it. That makes sense.
I still don't think it's cracked. The other Persona games have really cracked that. Even Metaphor, I don't think it's like too much cracked that yet.
No.
Persona 5's like just overall mainstream iconic outside of like
Yeah.
the JRPG community. So
Smash helped. Smash helped
yeah,
with Joker.
Smash definitely helped. But even outside of that, though, I think the whole because because I think around that time anime started becoming a lot more popular as well and a lot
Yeah.
more mainstream, and so I think that crossover helped. I think just the art style and characters in general like helped. It's kind of like a Undertale. I hate to compare it to Undertale. and
What?
things, but well, no, like how like the art style and the characters and lore and everything was kind of like almost just, if not more popular as the game itself for Undertale. I think that's a little bit of Persona. I think like everything around Persona is almost just as big as the game itself.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
But yeah, let us know what y'all thought of this list. If y'all disagree, if y'all agree, if you agree that Halo shouldn't be this high, or if you think that it should be this high.
All my Little Big Planet fans, rise up.
Isn't Little Big Planet 2 the better?
That's the better one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised Little Big Planet 1 is on here. And I also don't think I even saw Little Big Planet when I was looking at this list. So I think this person may have just included this in this tier list. But
This person's right.
yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching. This was pretty productive.
Yeah. I mean, productive's an interesting word. We learned a lot about each other. I learned that you think GTA 5 is mid, but Halo 3 is A tier.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.